והקיצר מהפסוק לפירוש רש"י shall yidei emunas itecha yihye chosin yeshuos chachmas v'das. In the short, going over in short from the verse, according to the opinion of Rashi, shall yidei emunas itecha, that through this idea of strength of your times, that the or belief that you're trustworthy in your times, you'll have a strength of redemption, chachmas v'das, and wisdom and knowledge. Emunas itecha, that according to Rashi, the concept of emunas itecha is ze'afrashos trumos u'maisros, the separating the tithes of truma and maiser, shenikra v'shiva nirosea, that's called the 7 candles upon it. Kiner mitzvah, because the candle is a mitzvah, like the idea of those who are strong and fulfill his words. So that's like chosin, someone who's strong, Yeshua's chachmas v'das, who's fulfilling the chachma and the das, I guess. Like with all of one's might, with all of one's money, we're talking about elevating the physical. And it's called with all of one's might, fulfilling the will of the omnipresent. Therefore, the Parsha of Vehaya, that it doesn't say in it with all of one's might, is called that you're not doing the will of the omnipresent, in comparison to Shema, where it says b'chol me'odecha. So we see that b'chol me'odecha is the what makom hinges upon. That's when you're considered truly doing Hashem's will, if it's with all of one's might or all of one's money. Like it's brought in another place. So that there it explains that with all of one's money, that causes for you to be able to fulfill with all of your might, mamash, and truly. Because tzedakah will elevate you. And look what's brought on the verse. And I will shine to you, those who fear my name, a son of charity and healing. And this is the idea of that the light of the sun will be 7 times, like you brought before, Veshivas Neosea Alea, that it's times 7, this idea of giving tzedakah, that it's b'chol me'odecha, v'ayin mashakas, v'al pasuk mi'itnecha ka'achli, shebuk l'kutei Torah. And look what's brought on the verse, who will give you as a brother to me in l'kutei Torah b'shir hashirim binyanat tzedakah shiyam shachas dira b'tachtonim, that the concept of tzedakah, of charity, it draws down the dwelling place for Hashem in this lowest world. So it's again the near mitzvah in the Torah. You have the light shining in the candle. In this world, you have the Shekhinah dwelling. We call Shekhinah tzedakah b'bechinas giborei koach, and how much more so when the tzedakah is in a way of those who are strong. B'chol me'odecha, of all of one's might. Yishlomar kocha kamaylas balei tshuva. We can say that its greatness is like the balei tshuva, people who are doing tshuva. It's tzaddikim yachad and tzaddikim all at once. That you have both the mila of the balei tshuva and the mila of tzaddikim together. Shemamshichim emakom sheim tzaddikim gedolim gemurim yicholin la'amod. That you draw down from a place where complete tzaddikim cannot stand, that from there you should draw down the dwelling place in this lowest realm, because the place where the Bali Tshuva stand, that's Bina. And so with all of one's might is also Bina. Sham. And therefore through the trustworthiness of your times of giving the tzedakah, you draw down the strength of redemption. Shemekora Matika Kadisha, that their source is Atik, Hamir Behabina, that shines into Bina, that Bina is the Bechol Meodecha, that from your giving of tzedakah. So you draw down the Yeshua of Atik from Bina through the giving of your tzedakah. Vod ki perish Yeshua, Zewal Derechai Hoshia Yiminach Vaneni. And a further explanation of the word redemptions is like it says, your right hand should save me and answer me. In order to have the right hand saving, this is from an idea that's all right on the right side, that there's no left side in Atik. So what does it mean, Yehoshia Yaminacha, meaning to say that from a place where there's only Yamin? From Atik, and that's why, and this happens through tzedakah given with the right hand. And further, the concept of tzedakah in a way of, with all of one's might, in a way of those strong men, strong people of strength, chulu, and so forth. Especially from there, that you're going to draw down from Atik. Perhaps it's hinting to Gvura of Atik. And look what the explanation of the Mamar, that you are my candle. At the end of it, that explains there the concept of that Hashem will light up my darkness. And look, the explanation of that you are my candle at the end, concerning the idea of charity, that draws down the idea of that Hashem will light up my darkness. Oh, we already read that. Okay. And also the difference between plain old charity and charity in a way of those who are strong. Binyan Hafrash is Trumus and Meiser is concerning separating the tithes of Truma and Meiser, even Mamashikas, would be Geras HaKodesh Shemin Yod Al Pasuk Chaste Hashem Kilotam, you can understand from its brought in Tanya. I know all the is Chesed Vis Chesed Chulu, that there's two kinds of kindness. There's Chesed of Elyon and Chesed below. So you have Chesed Chesed from Kesed. So if the Brahmaskal Vaya Maisi Tzedakah Shalom, and further brings over there from Tanya that the act of tzedakah will be peace, binyan v'avodas tzedakah, and you have the avodas tzedakah that's higher, hashkiv v'vetach shebechinas avodas tzedakah mamshich mea keser, that you have this other idea of avodas tzedakah that draws down from keser, like we're bringing here. That you have in a way of a chol meodecha or gibori koach shemisham nimshacha hashkiv v'abetach. From there you bring down the silence and the trustworthiness, or the hashkiv v'abetach, the resting and established and resting. The Moshe Kazbazor not so daf kuf lam zayin so for amad aleph gabe neve shanan latik yaminit mar, that it says in Zohar not so that the expression a dwelling place that's peaceful refers to Atik Yomin. So you draw down from the place of peace, from Atik Yomin, through the giving it stuck on the higher way of Bechol Medacha V'Gi Borei Koach. V'Daf Kuv Kav Ches Omad Beis Binyan Moches Timad, the Shakit V'Shachich Hulu that it brings there about Moches Timad. That's what it says about Sabbath. Sasim the Shakit V'Shachich Ke Chamaria Chamaratav the Aldur Daye. That you have this inner hidden wisdom, and on that state it says about it that it's shaki v'shachich, that it's resting and it's quiet from Keser. This is what it says, 1,000 for you Shlomo and 200 for those who guard its fruits. That is the Sachar, the study of Torah, is a concept of 200 Chachma Bina, of wisdom and understanding. But through the actual deed, Shlomo, Chachma Shlomo, which is, I guess, Malchus, which corresponds in this context to the actual deed. So that brings down the Elef, the 1,000, which corresponds with Keser, and so forth. Chulu b'medrasha, b'shir hashirim, b'sof shir hashirim, and medrasha b'shir hashirim, the end of shir hashirim. Amru al zeh gimel ofanim. It says about this 3 different ways. Aleph ha'elef lecha shlomo k'ayal melamed Torah. The first is that I will teach you Shlomo k'ayal melamed Torah. That refers to someone who teaches Torah. Shalidei shemashlimena lacherim scharo elef. That's through completing it for someone else. Shlomo from Lashon Hashlama, that you give a completion to someone else through study of Torah. Scharo elef. So your reward is 1,000. Ha'elef lecha Shlomo. Shlomo al derech sh'amra zal. We can say, like our sages said, so if Perek Daled the Sukkah daf mem tesuf amud bezos beperish v'toras chesed al shona, in explaining that the Torah of kindness is on her mouth. Torah lelamda zeu Torah shel chesed chulu. What is Torah of kindness? So Torah to teach it, that's Torah of kindness. Torah's chesed is Torah that you teach it. I guess al shona. Ki hashpa nimshech al yedei midas chesed, because divine flow comes through the attribute of kindness. So when you have Torah that you teach, you draw down kindness from above. If so, the flow of wisdom is drawn from the great kindness of Arich through the teaching of Torah. Also the concept of flow from Yisod is drawn from a much higher place. So you want to give flow, it's through Torah study, teaching Torah. So if you give the flow of teaching of Torah, you draw it down from Elef. Kamoshikas, Bilkuti Torah Pashas Mase, Dibor Maski Levar in Hamasos, but a Gimel Vikamoshikas, Gamkin al Pasaki Ishalel, al Pasaki al Ishalel Chacham Bichachmaso Chulo. And what's brought on the verse, a wise person should not praise himself on his wisdom. Only in this he should praise himself. Zos nikra chachmatata. Only in the zos he should praise himself, and only in the lower wisdom. That is in the giving over of the flow of chachma. Giving, when you give over chachma to somebody else, there you have the praise, not just being wise for yourself. And therefore you have the 1,000 for Shlomo through giving the flow, teaching Torah, and that's also the concept of peace of peace that he brought before. That the shalom is like shakit v'shachich of mochas dima or nave shanan, which is the idea of peace that comes from Keser. Od Perusham Alo Torah Bitsar Scharo Elef Shlo Bitsar Masayim. Further, it explains there that somebody who studies Torah in his difficulties, his reward is 1,000, but if it's not in pain, so it's a 200. So and that is to say, because the reward of the Torah is drawn from wisdom and understanding of the Torah, from Chachma and Bina. And that's why your reward is 200 if you're doing it without difficulty. But somebody who studies Torah in his difficulties, similar to the idea of somebody who kills himself upon it, meaning to say that he makes it hard for himself, he truly struggles. And like the idea of even my wisdom stood up for me, that our sages said, Af Chochmasi means the Chochma that I learned in Af, in the time of anger upon me and the difficulties. That's what stood for me. Through this you have the reward of 1,000. That again you're drawing down from Keser when you study in the difficult times. Look what's brought over there. Look what it's brought on the verse that Moshe was there with Hashem 40 days and 40 nights. That he didn't eat bread and he didn't drink water. That's the idea that Moshe pained himself and studied Torah from Hashem. Even it brings over there in the verse that you answered me and you said, but Tanu can also mean to afflict oneself, that I pain myself, and said that I pain myself upon it, upon the study of the Torah, upon the giving of the Torah and receiving it. And Moshe received the Torah from the mouth of the strong one. And perhaps the Gvura can also mean from the difficulties. That from the mouth of the difficulties, from the Gvura, not from Chesed, that's where he received the Torah. And therefore somebody who also studies Torah in his difficulties, in his pain, so he's receiving the Torah from its source and root, from Pia Gvura. Od Perusham. And another explanation, that somebody who studies Torah not in its place, receives the reward of 1,000. But in its place, he receives the reward of 200. So this is the difference between. So